Ladies and gentlemen, today we have some absolutely massive breaking news to talk about. You see, President Trump has finally crossed the Rubicon. He is finally taking the fight directly to the federal judiciary. Last night, the America First legal group, founded by President Trump's top political advisor Stephen Miller, dropped an absolutely massive bombshell of a lawsuit. Their target? The Judicial Conference and Administrative Office, the policy-making body of the entire federal court system. Now, this group, led by Chief Justice John Roberts himself, includes chief judges from the 13 federal circuits. It also has a district judge from each geographic circuit and the chief judge of the Court of International Trade. In essence, this is the administrative arm that keeps the federal judiciary running across the country. And so it's this administrative group of federal judges that President Trump is now effectively suing in order to reaffirm his presidential executive authority. Now, I want you all to take a look at a recent clip from none other than Stephen Miller himself, but first, I do want to say real quick, if you guys enjoy the daily videos, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, take a look at this.
You cannot have a democracy where single individual district court judges can assume the full total powers of the commander-in-chief. Even on the Supreme Court, it takes agreement of 5 Supreme Court justices to change a federal policy. 5. A single district court judge out of 700 cannot set policy for the entire nation, let alone on national security and public safety issues. The president has been clear that he has tremendous respect for Justice Roberts and believes it's essential the Supreme Court crack down and stop this assault on our democracy from these radical rogue judges that are usurping the powers of the presidency and laying waste to our entire constitutional system.
And so, folks, as it would seem, that respect that Stephen Miller just mentioned has just about run out because so far, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts has done absolutely nothing to rein in all of these radically progressive federal judges. As you all know, for months now, activist federal judges have been consistently targeting and undermining President Trump's agenda, whether he's trying to enforce immigration laws or dismantle various regulations. And I'll tell you what, this is leftist lawfare by the definition, exploiting the judiciary to wage relentless attacks on the America First movement. Courts aren't supposed to obstruct the president's mandate, they're supposed to respect it. Under Chief Justice John Roberts' leadership, the federal judiciary has become a hyper-partisan playground, favoring globalist interests over American workers and American families. And so that is why this America First lawsuit is so important. Really, it's a brilliant move to place the Judicial Conference and Administrative Office back under President Trump's executive control. The truth is that these federal legal institutions are performing executive functions, meaning that President Trump should be the one calling the shots. Yet they're cloaked as a judicial entity to avoid executive accountability. So this lawsuit exposes this abuse of power, which must be realigned under the president's purview if we want to actually stop all of this judicial tyranny that's been unfolding across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what's been happening. These radically progressive judges in the federal judiciary have been abusing the complexity of our judiciary's bureaucracy in an attempt to undermine and subvert President Trump's constitutionally granted executive authority. They've been attempting to abuse their judicial positions to impede President Trump's executive functions, hoping that no one would notice what they're doing, or at least that no one would figure out how to stop them. But so what the America First movement has realized is that if we can bring the Judicial Conference and Administrative Office, which has oversight over the entire federal judiciary, back under the president's executive authority, as it should be, then all of this radically progressive judicial tyranny can be completely shut down. So in truth, it's the entire rotten bureaucracy of the federal judiciary that this lawsuit is trying to put back under executive oversight because for years now, they've been acting with complete and total impunity. And I'll tell you what, this isn't just about bureaucracy, it's about fortifying President Trump's executive authority to actually deliver on the America First promise. The American people gave President Trump a massive mandate with his recent historic victories at the ballot box. Americans across the country demand a government that actually prioritizes our workers, our families, and our national security, not the radically progressive globalist agenda. And you know what? Here's the truth. Chief Justice Roberts' resistance to executive oversight has only served to shield this corrupt and highly partisan federal judiciary. It betrays the American people's call for a government that actually puts them first. The deep state's judicial arm has resisted America First reformation for far too long, in my opinion, and this lawsuit is a critical step towards dismantling it. So, by bringing the judicial conference under his executive oversight, President Trump can ensure that the federal judiciary actually serves the American public rather than anti American radically progressive globalists. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what judicial accountability really looks like. This lawsuit is about making sure the courts respect the president's constitutional authority to execute the will of the American people. So if this lawsuit succeeds, and I really do believe that it will, the federal judiciary will be forced to comply with President Trump's executive authority. No more activist judges blocking the America First agenda, no more lawfare undermining our national sovereignty, just a government that actually puts Americans first. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an historic moment in the fight for America First. Pretty much right now, President Trump is about to take this radically progressive federal judiciary head on. And so what that means is that if this lawsuit is successful, it really will be time to make America great again. If this lawsuit is successful, and legal experts seem to think that President Trump has a pretty strong case here, then the entire federal judiciary will be put back under executive oversight, meaning that this era of rogue, unaccountable, unelected federal judges acting like they get to run the entire country will come to an end. And so, hey, I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, this lawsuit is what it looks like to put America first. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. As I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle here on YouTube. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.